inside. Focus on yourself, not others. Good morning, everyone. Success is never about running faster than the person next to you. Success is about running further than the person you were yesterday. Too many people waste time watching others, what they have, what they do, what they achieve. But let me tell you, comparison is a thief. It steals your confidence, your peace, and your future. If you want to win, stop looking left and right. Start looking in the mirror. That person you see, that is your only competition. Every day you must ask, am I stronger than yesterday? Am I wiser than yesterday? Am I closer to my dream than yesterday? Remember this, nobody can copy your spirit, your story, or your struggle. That is your advantage. Use it. Invest in yourself. Learn skills that others cannot take away. Build habits that others cannot destroy. Success is not luck. It is the result of relentless self-focus. The world respects people who create value, not people who complain about what others are doing. So, while they are busy watching, be busy building. While they are doubting, be busy learning. While they are sleeping, be busy growing. One day, the people who ignored you will say they knew you. The people who doubted you will ask how you did it. And the answer will be simple. I stopped focusing on them, and I started focusing on me. When we talk about success side, the first mistake most people make is that they compare themselves to others. From childhood, we are told to look at the marks of the best student inside, to watch how talented another kid is, or to measure our progress by what our neighbors or colleagues achieve. We are trained to believe that life is a race inside, and the winners are those who are faster than everyone else. But let me tell you this, that is the biggest trap you can fall into. Life is not about outpacing someone else. It is about outgrowing yourself. Think about it. When you are constantly comparing your life with others, inside, you are actually shifting your energy in the wrong direction. Instead of focusing on what you can do, you are wasting valuable time worrying about what they are doing inside. Instead of strengthening your skills, you are analyzing their skills. Instead of building your confidence, you are silently destroying it by believing that someone else's success means your failure. But their journey has nothing to do with yours. Let me give you a simple example. Imagine running on a track with your eyes glued to the runner next to you. What happens? You lose your rhythm. You trip. You slow down. Side. Why? Because your attention is not where it should be. That is what comparison does. It blinds you. The moment you compare yourself to others, you forget your own lane, side, your own speed, and your own finish line. Every person in this world has a different story, different timing, different opportunities, and different battles. Maybe someone you know achieved success at 25. Maybe you are struggling at 35. That does not mean you are behind. That only means your clock is different. Success is not measured by age. It is measured by progress. If you improve yourself every single day, inside, you are already on the right path no matter how long it takes. Comparison is also unfair because you never see the full picture. You see someone's success inside, but you don't see the failures behind it. You see their achievements, but you don't see the nights of doubt, the sacrifices, or the silent tears they shed inside. You only see the highlight reel, not the backstage struggle. And when you compare your behind the scenes life with their polished final show, you will always feel inadequate. That is why comparison is poison. It convinces you that you are not enough when in reality you are just on a different journey inside. The truth is energy flows where attention goes. If all your attention is on someone else, their life will grow while yours stands still. But if your attention is on yourself, your skills, your habits, your consistency, then your life will bloom. And when your life blooms, you will not even have the time or interest to compare yourself to others, because your focus will be on becoming the best version of you. Success does not come from being better than others. It comes from being better than yesterday. Think of the great athletes, entrepreneurs, leaders, or artists of our time. They did not win because they copied others. They won because they competed with themselves. Every day they asked, how do I improve? How do I sharpen my craft? How do I take one more step forward? They kept their eyes on their own progress inside. And that is why the world eventually kept its eyes on them. If you constantly compare, you will always feel behind. But if you constantly improve, you will always move ahead. The secret is to create a system of self-growth that has nothing to do with what others are achieving. For example, inside. If you want to become successful in business, do not measure yourself by how much money someone else is making. Measure yourself by how much knowledge you gained today, inside how many skills you developed this week, and how much discipline you showed this month. That is the true scoreboard of success. There will always be someone richer, smarter, faster, or more talented. If your happiness depends on beating them, you will never be happy. But if your happiness depends on beating your own excuses, your own laziness, your own fears, then success will come to you naturally. Because real success is inner, not outer. It is about mastery of self, not mastery of others. Inside. You see, comparison is not just a thief of joy. It is a thief of destiny. Too many dreams are buried because people were busy looking at others. They said, oh, so he is already doing it. Why should I? Or, she is far ahead. I can never catch up. And so they stop before they even start. But what they don't realize is that the world doesn't need another copy. It needs their original. And when you abandon your originality to chase someone else's path, you rob the world of something unique. So, if you want to rise above comparison, here is the mindset shift you need. Treat life as a personal marathon, not a public competition. Every day, compete only with yesterday's version of yourself. Did you learn something new today? Did you show more courage than yesterday? Did you take action instead of procrastinating? If the answer is yes, then you are winning, no matter what anyone else is doing. One day, when you have put in years of consistent effort, people will look at you and say, how did you do it? And your answer will be simple. I stopped looking at others, and I started looking at myself. Because the truth is, inside, the only person standing between you and your dream is not the person next to you. It is you. So, focus inward. Protect your energy. Celebrate your small wins. Trust your timing. Stop comparing your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20. If you stay committed to your own lane, if you keep improving step by step, you will reach heights that comparison could never take you to. And when you arrive there inside, you will realize something powerful that you never needed to outshine anyone else. You only needed to outshine the version of yourself that doubted you yesterday. That is the freedom you find when you escape the trap of comparison inside. That is the power you unlock when you focus only on yourself. Every person born on this planet comes with something special. You may not see it immediately. You may not even believe it, but it's there. Inside you is a combination of experiences, talents, struggles, and dreams that no one else in the entire world has. And that uniqueness, your uniqueness, is your greatest power. The problem is, too many people try to bury that uniqueness. Well, inside, they look at what others are doing and think, maybe I should do that too. They see what is popular and decide to copy it. They believe success comes from blending in, from imitating those who are already ahead. But what they don't realize is that imitation only takes you so far. Inside, the world does not reward copies, it rewards originals. Think about some of the most successful people in history inside. None of them became great by trying to be someone else. They became great because they leaned into what made them different. Their uniqueness was not a weakness. It was their advantage. And the same is true for you. The things you think make you strange, different, or less than others may actually be the exact things that make you valuable, memorable, and irreplaceable. But here's the catch. Embracing your uniqueness requires courage. It is not easy to stand out. It is not easy to choose a different path when everyone else is walking in the same direction. The world loves conformity because it feels safe. And when you choose to be different, people may doubt you, laugh at you, or even discourage you. But that is the test of uniqueness. Can you remain true to yourself, even when others don't understand you? Because if you can, the reward is extraordinary. Your uniqueness is like a fingerprint. Nobody else can replicate it. Inside. Imagine a fingerprint being ashamed of its own lines and curves because it doesn't look like another one. That sounds ridiculous, right? Yet that's exactly what many people do. They hide their individuality, thinking it is not enough. But success does not come from hiding. It comes from expressing inside. The truth is, your uniqueness is the only thing that can never be stolen. Someone can copy your idea. Someone can replicate your style. Someone can even try to mimic your success. But they can never take away your story, your perspective, your personality, or your way of thinking. That is your power. And the more you use it, the stronger it becomes. Let me give you an example. Imagine two people starting the same business. Inside, one tries to copy the exact formula of a successful competitor. The other decides to bring their own creativity, their own style, their own way of connecting with customers. Which one do you think will stand out in the long run? The one who dared to be unique. Because in a crowded world inside, sameness is invisible. Uniqueness is magnetic. But here's the problems. Too many people don't even know what makes them unique. They never stop to ask, what is my strength? What is my gift? What do I naturally bring to the table that others don't? Instead, they measure themselves by the standards of the crowd side. And when you measure yourself by someone else's yardstick, you will always feel small. The key is to define yourself by your own yardstick inside. Your value is not in being like others. It is in being like yourself. Sometimes the very obstacles you face are part of your uniqueness. Maybe you grew up struggling. Maybe you faced rejection, Maybe you have a background that seems like a disadvantage. But here's the truth. Your struggle gives you perspective, empathy, and resilience that others may not have. Your challenges shape your story. And your story, when told with authenticity, becomes your power. Nobody else can live your story. Nobody else can walk in your exact shoes. That is why your uniqueness is priceless. And here's another truth inside. The world doesn't need another version of someone else. It needs you. Too many dreams die because people try to fit into a mold that was never meant for them inside. They think, if I could only be like him or like her, then I'd be successful. But success doesn't come from being a second-hand version of someone else inside. Success comes from being the best version of yourself. It takes confidence to say, I am enough. And my uniqueness has value. But once you start walking in that confidence, everything changes. Doors open because people are drawn to authenticity. Inside, opportunities come because your uniqueness solves problems in a way no one else can. Respect follows because people recognize that you are not pretending. You are real inside. Ask yourself this. What do you do that feels effortless to you, but amazing to others? That is usually a sign of your uniqueness. What experiences have shaped you in ways that others cannot imagine? That is another clue. And what passions keep you awake at night, refusing to let you quit? That too is a part of your uniqueness. The greatest tragedy is not failing. It is never using your uniqueness at all. Failure you can recover from inside. But wasted potential is something you carry forever. Don't let fear bury your uniqueness. Don't let doubt silence your gift. Don't let comparison convince you that your difference is a weakness. It is not. It is your greatest strength. You may not shine immediately inside. You may not be recognized instantly. But if you stay true to your uniqueness and keep refining it, one day the world will notice. Side. People will look at you and realize you bring something nobody else does. And that is when you stop competing. Because when you live in your uniqueness, you don't need to fight for a place. You create your own. So the next time you doubt yourself, remember this. There is only one you. Only one person with your mind, your vision, your background, and your soul. And if you don't bring it to the world, nobody else can inside. That is why your uniqueness is not just your power. It is your responsibility. The world needs you to be you. If there is one truth about success that never changes inside, it is this: growth does not happen by accident. Growth does not come because you wish for it or because you talk about it. Growth comes from discipline, daily, consistent discipline. It is discipline that separates those who dream from those who achieve. Most people want success. They say they want to be great. They want to be wealthy. They want to be respected. But when you look closer, very few are willing to do the work every single day. They are motivated when things are exciting, but the moment it gets boring, difficult, or uncomfortable, they stop. That is the difference. Motivation makes you start. Discipline makes you continue. Motivation is a spark. Discipline is the fire that keeps burning. Think about a seed planted in the ground inside. You cannot see growth in one day or even 1 week. But if you water it every day, give it sunlight, protect it from weeds, eventually it grows into a tree. The same is true for your life. You may not see the results of your effort immediately, but with consistent discipline, what inside you will grow into something far greater than you ever imagined. Discipline is not about punishment. It is about alignment. It is aligning your daily actions with your bigger goals. For example, if you want to be healthy, you must discipline yourself to exercise, to eat well, to rest properly. If you want to be successful in business, you must discipline yourself to learn, to take action, to keep going even when sales are low. If you want to be a leader, you must discipline yourself to listen, to serve, to keep improving. Without discipline, even the greatest dream will remain only a dream. The truth is, discipline is often uncomfortable. It requires you to do what most people avoid. It asks you to wake up earlier, to practice longer, to sacrifice pleasures for progress. And that is why so many people never achieve their full potential, because discipline is hard. But here is the paradox. While discipline is hard, regret is harder. The pain of discipline is temporary. The pain of regret lasts forever. Inside, when you look at the most successful people in the world, you may see talent, intelligence, or luck. But if you look deeper, what you will always find is discipline. They showed up when others quit. They practiced when others rested. They pushed themselves when others gave excuses. And over time, that discipline turned into mastery, and that mastery created success. Here's something important to understand: discipline compounds. Just like money invested grows with interest. Inside, discipline invested daily grows into extraordinary results. Reading for 30 minutes a day may not seem like much inside, but do it for a year and you'll have read dozens of books. Practicing a skill for 1 hour a day may not look impressive at first, but after years, you will be an expert. Saving a small amount every month may feel slow, but with time, it builds wealth. That is the secret power of discipline. It transforms small actions into massive success. But discipline is not only about big goals. It is also about small decisions. Every time you choose to do what is right instead of what is easy, you strengthen your discipline muscle. And just like muscles in the gym, the more you train it, the stronger it gets. Eventually, discipline becomes part of who you are. You no longer need to force yourself. You simply live with habits that naturally bring success. There is another truth discipline gives freedom. At first, it may feel like restriction, saying no to distractions, limiting your time on entertainment, controlling your impulses. But in the long run, discipline creates freedom. Financial freedom, because you disciplined your spending. Health freedom, because you disciplined your lifestyle. Emotional freedom inside, because you disciplined your thoughts and reactions. People without discipline are slaves to circumstances. People with discipline are masters of their destiny. And here is the beauty of it: discipline does not require you to be perfect. You will fail sometimes. You will miss days. You will make mistakes. That's normal. Discipline is not about never falling. It's about always standing up again. The difference between winners and losers is not that winners never fail. It is that winners never quit on discipline. Many people say, I'll start when I'm ready. I'll begin when I feel motivated. But that's the wrong approach inside. You don't wait for motivation to act. You act and motivation follows. Discipline is about doing it whether you feel like it or not. And the more you do it, the more it becomes natural. Growth will never happen if you wait for the perfect moment, because there is no perfect moment. Growth happens when you discipline yourself to start now with whatever you have and keep improving step by step. Remember, small consistent actions are more powerful than big inconsistent actions. So if you want to grow, stop asking, what do I want? And start asking, what am I willing to do every day to get it? Because dreams don't work unless you do. And the way you work consistently and with discipline decides how far you will go. One day, people will look at you and say, you are so lucky. But you will know it wasn't luck. It was discipline. You will know it was the nights you stayed focused, the mornings you pushed yourself, the sacrifices you made inside. And you will realize that while others were waiting for opportunities, you were preparing for them. So, commit to discipline. Build habits that support your future. Protect your time, guard your energy, and stay consistent. It may not be glamorous. It may not be easy, but it will be worth it inside. Because growth does not come from wishing, hoping, or comparing. Growth comes from self-discipline. And when you master discipline, you master yourself. When you master yourself, you master success. If there is one secret to lasting success, it is not brilliance, not luck, not even raw talent. It is consistency. Consistency is the invisible force that turns ordinary effort into extraordinary achievement. Anyone can start strong, but only those who stay consistent finish strong. Look around and you will see this truth everywhere. Gyms are full in January, but empty by March. New businesses open with excitement, but close within a year. People start learning skills with passion, but quit when progress feels slow. Why? Because consistency is hard. Starting is easy, but continuing when the excitement fades is where true winners are made inside. Success doesn't reward those who work intensely once in a while. It rewards those who work steadily over time. It's like dripping water on stone. Side. One drop may look powerless, but over years, it carves a path. Consistency works the same way. Your small daily actions may seem insignificant now, but when repeated with discipline, they create results that surprise the world. Think about it, a writer doesn't finish a book in one day. They write a page every day. Sighed, and slowly the book appears. A runner doesn't become a marathon champion overnight. They train mile by mile, week by week, until their body and mind transform. A business doesn't grow into an empire instantly. It grows client by client, sale by sale, day after day. That is the power of consistency. It compounds effort until results become unstoppable. But here is the challenge inside. Most people underestimate the power of consistency because the progress is invisible in the beginning. You go to the gym for a week and don't see much change. You read for a month and don't feel much smarter. You work on a business for a year and don't see millions. So people quit. They think, this doesn't work. But what they don't realize is that growth is happening silently under the surface. Just like a seed takes time to break through the soil, your effort takes time to show results. And if you quit too early, you never get to see the harvest. Consistency is not glamorous. It means doing the boring work, repeating the routines, and staying patient. But here's the truth. The boring work is often the winning work. Greatness comes not from what you do occasionally, but from what you do repeatedly. Anyone can show up once, but champions show up every day, whether they feel like it or not. Consistency also builds trust. trust in yourself, and trust from others. When you stay consistent, you prove to yourself that you can keep promises. Side, you build confidence because you know you will follow through. And others begin to trust you because they know you don't just talk. You act inside. Opportunities flow toward people who are consistent because reliability is rare and valuable. Let's be clear, consistency doesn't mean perfection. You don't have to be flawless. You just have to keep going. Even if you fall, even if you fail, even if you miss a day, you pick yourself up and continue. Side. Consistency is about persistence, not perfection. Progress may be slow, but slow progress is still progress. One of the greatest gifts of consistency is momentum. At first, staying consistent feels heavy, like pushing a giant wheel. But as you keep moving, the wheel gains speed and soon it rolls on its own. Your habits become automatic, your effort becomes natural, and success becomes inevitable. That is why the hardest part is starting, but the most important part is continuing. Consistency also protects you from the ups and downs of life. Success is never a straight line. There will be setbacks, failures, and disappointments. But if you are consistent, those moments won't destroy you, because even in tough times, you will still be moving forward, even if only a little. And that forward motion keeps your dream alive. Side. Many people overestimate what they can do in a week, but underestimate what they can do in a year. Consistency stretches time in your favor. Imagine if you learned one new skill every year for 10 years. How different would your life look? Inside, imagine if you invested in yourself a little every day for 5 years. How much stronger, wiser, and wealthier would you be? That is the miracle of consistency. The truth is, success doesn't happen to the smartest or the luckiest. It happens to the most consistent. People may doubt you, laugh at you, or ignore you in the beginning. But if you stay consistent, one day those same people will ask, how did you do it? And your answer will be simple. Side, I kept going when others stopped. So how do you stay consistent? Start small. Don't overwhelm yourself with impossible goals. Instead, build habits you can maintain daily. Focus on progress, not perfection. Measure yourself not by how fast you move, but by how steady you are. And most importantly, tie your consistency to your vision. When your why is strong, your how becomes easier. Remember, consistency is not about intensity. It's about longevity. Anyone can sprint, but only the consistent finish the marathon. Anyone can shine briefly, but only the consistent leave a legacy. One day, when you look back at your life, you won't remember the single moments of intensity as much as the long road of consistency. Inside, you will realize that success wasn't built on one big victory, but on countless small actions done faithfully over time. Inside. And you will see clearly that the difference between those who dream and those who achieve is not talent or luck. It is consistency. So, keep showing up. Keep working when no one is watching. Keep practicing when results are invisible. Keep believing when progress feels slow. Because success may not come overnight, but it always comes to those who stay consistent. And when it comes, the world will see your success as sudden. But you will know the truth. It wasn't sudden at all. It was built day by day, step by step, with relentless consistency. So, my friends, remember this: stop comparing. Embrace your uniqueness, build yourself with discipline, and above all, stay consistent. Success is not about racing others. It's about rising above yourself. Focus on your journey, trust your timing, and keep moving forward. Because one day, the world will not just see who you are. They will see who you became when you chose to focus on yourself, not others. Thank you.